Welcome. Okay, so it's wonderful to be here this morning with each of you. My name is Shirley Angellove, and I'm here to acknowledge each of you on Zoom and here, and those that will be connecting by recording. It's all right now, isn't it? So today, in case you don't remember, is October 1st of 2023. We have a few opportunities to share this coming week, and I'll let you know what those are. Early Birds meets every Sunday morning at 9:30 on Zoom, and also in person for those who come earlier. Our upcoming speakers, we're blessed to have Reverend Kamatara today. And then on next Sunday will be Reverend Sandy Scott. The following week will be Dr. Edward. And on the 22nd will be Donna Stryker. And on the 29th, Doug and Tina. So we are truly blessed with all of these wonderful speakers coming to share life with us. On Thursday evening, we have a group that meets and we listen to Missing Links by Greg Braden. And that's at 7 p.m. And we meet either on Zoom or in the fellowship hall. This coming Saturday, October 7th, will be Teresa Valenzuela here. And she'll be presenting a workshop on the shadow effect, a journey from your darkest thought to your greatest dream. The workshop will run from 1 to 4 p.m. and the love offering will be $25. Also, there's going to be a dowsing class with Jean Geringer, and it will be October 21st from 1:30 to 4:30. We just have a lot of little opportunities this week, don't we? Our October get-together will be on Sunday, October 29th, at White Sands for the full moon with Randy Granger. Oh, we love to do that, don't we? Carpooling will be available with departure times to be announced closer to the event. And lastly, but not leastly, is our prayer time. We have a prayer team that meets every Tuesday at 4:15, and this is with different ones from the New Thought fellowships here in Las Cruces. How blessed we are. And so they come together to pray with us. And so that's a good time for wherever you are to just set aside some time to gather with them, to be quiet. And we know that spirit and the energy of prayer knows no limits. It's a lot of opportunities, isn't it? And so now is our time for invocation. So close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And go into this wonderful space and feel the wonderful spirit that is here. I feel that in each one of you coming towards me. And I trust you feel that love reaching out to you. And right now we acknowledge the presence of the living source, always present. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And for the beings of light in the realms of illumined truth, for the ascended masters and angels and archangels, for our family members from beyond the veil. We welcome you here, your presence, and we're so thankful. And our hearts are open to receive and to give. And this day is blessed. This time together with each of us is blessed. And we send blessings out to every man, woman, boy, and girl. And so it is. Okay, so it's time for us to sing our song of joy. And it would be wonderful if you'd stand and really get into it. And we're blessed to have our brother here accompanying us.
This will be a cappella. It's fine. And remember, music is a wonderful way to get your chakras sending energy up and down. And joy, an aspect of God. But it's up to you. Do it. We got it. So it's going to be a very short introduction. It'll be a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I got the joy, 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 joy in my heart. Joy in my heart. Down in my heart. I get the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart to stay. I got the peace that passes understanding down in my heart. Down in my heart, down in my heart, I got the peace that passes understanding down in my heart. Down in my heart today, I've got the love of Spirit in my heart. Down in my heart, down in my heart, I've got the love and spirit down in my heart. Down in my heart to stay. Is that it?
That was very nice.
Okay, you may be seated. Well, that was good. We could do with some more rehearsal. Yeah.
We'll have it nailed by the end of the month.
Okay.
We get the whole month to practice? No, we do.
Now you can practice every day. All right, so now it's our time to read our vision, our mission, and our affirmation. It's up here, if you can see past our screen here. And also it's on this. So, okay. Our vision: to elevate spiritual consciousness in our world. Our mission: to support individual spiritual quests through celebration, study, counsel, loving fellowship, and service. And our mission, our affirmation: fall is upon us, and as we leave behind the summer's heat, we begin to appreciate the gentle warmth of the sun. The constant, gentle warmth of God's love falls upon us, and we share it as becomes with all. And so it is. Okay. So I think we're going to have some wonderful music now by our brother over here.
Well, it's always nice when you find music is expressing real truth. And I'm kind of surprised the old hymns do this. And the one we're going to do today is "Gonna Lay Down My Sword and Shield." Now that was a song that was expropriated by Pete Seeger as an anti-war song. You could call it an anti-war song, but you know what the sword and shield is? Sword is attacking, shield is defending. When you lay that down, you come together in love. There we go. I think. So sing along. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside and study war no more. I ain't gonna 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 study war no more. Study war no more. I'm gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside and study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Study war no, study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I'm gonna put on my long white robe down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna put on my long white robe down by the riverside and study war no more. Everybody now. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no, study war no more. Study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Study war no more. You know where the riverside is where they baptize whole churches, one by one, under the water. And is that a wake up? I'm going to put on my starry crown down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm going to put on my starry crown down by the riverside and study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Study war no, study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more.
That's wonderful, Edwin.
Thank you.
And so now it's time for our reading. And I'm reading from the Paradox, the Playing with Paradox, which is the magazine for Science of Mind for October. And I'm going to share something here from Molly Kate Brown. And the title of it is Trials and Truth on Turtle Island. Paradox points to the depths of totality, what it means to be human, and to the 10,000-foot view. It arises from the place where there is a possibility of contacting our internal layer beyond suffering. At the foundation of creation, there is exquisite love and utter neutrality, like an unconditionally loving parent. There is no good or bad, right or wrong. We are everything and nothing, no thing. Black holes swallow stars. A meteor decimates a planet. A hurricane devastates a town. One human is kind to another. A tree bows to forceful wind, all without preference. Although in the personal realm things matter, at the highest view, they don't matter. There is simply cause and effect. Waves don't worry about disturbing the sand on the shore. As above, so below, without exception. This is not callous. This simply is. We choose our character on the eternal stage and have impact, yet the play never ends, and we all return to dust. This place of utter neutrality is within the continuum of eternity. It is unconditional love without preference. It is the field in which we experience the exquisite stillness that brings us to our knees. It is a healing force. It is the changeless in the dynamic field of existence. This equanimity or neutrality can be experienced in meditation, in nature, within the breath, when the busyness of the mind silences through surrender or death. It is there. The Buddhists taught to feel and not react, effectively pointing the way towards stillness. And so this morning we're very blessed to have Reverend Kamatara all the way from Albuquerque to share her love for us and with us.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. So happy to see you all today. And again, as Spirit always has it, perfect reading, perfect song, laying down the sword and shield and entering into neutrality in that sacred space. The Science Mind magazine this month is very inspirational. So if you do happen to receive it, definitely check it out. There's some amazing readings in there, and it's really lit a fire in me to face something that I've been struggling with for a really long time, and I'm only in the brand new baby beginning stages of facing that, so maybe you'll face that a little bit with me. I know a lot of folks, including myself, have really been struggling with what feels like the divisiveness of right now, and the schism and the split that feels it's like tearing this country apart, or the polarity that we can feel in current events. It's really tricky for me, especially because it's so incongruous with what we teach in this faith and philosophy of oneness And I know the concepts of oneness. I can speak all the words of oneness. I can say one heart, one love, one mind. There is but one. There's no separation. I mean, I could just do that all day long. But I don't know, as much as I believe in it, I just don't know if I'm really practicing oneness in my life every day. Because it's really easy, and I'll just speak for myself, I find it really easy, I notice, that it's so easy to just stand on one side of polarity or another. And that our language, the way we define ourselves, our way of moving through the world, the questions we ask one another, the lens through which we see, or the ways that we seek meaning, even the way we define success, all of that lends itself very easily to standing on one side of a polarity. So I've been asking myself lately, can I weed out any polarities in my life? Can I dismantle the programming of duality that society just loves to give us? Can I see it in my preferences, in my thought patterns, in my actions, in my beliefs? I don't know. I'm just starting the experiment. We'll see how it goes. But let's start with a little game here to get us thinking in polarities. You're going to see how easy this is. So I'm going to shout out a little pair, and I want you to shout back which one is more like you. Okay. So are you a morning person or a night owl? Oh my gosh, unanimous night owls. Okay, I am the one morning person in the room. Okay, maybe there's a couple of us.
I guess more morning now.
Yes. All right. So are you right-handed or left-handed? Ooh, we've got a mix. Okay. Coffee or tea? Ooh, okay. Cats or dogs? Oh, okay. Are you a saver or a spender? Oh, okay. Are you a big picture person or are you details oriented? Oh, okay. That one was kind of all over the place. All right. So introvert or extrovert? Well, thank you for answering, introverts. That was very big of you. Good job. Good job. Okay. Do you tend to lean left brain or right brain? I married my right brain, so I'm just going to lean left there. Male or female? Male or female? Okay. All right. So, I mean, we could just play this game all day long, right? There's so many polar opposites. We could talk about Republicans, Democrats, conservative, liberal, old, young, rich, poor, tall, short, skinny, fat, smart, dumb. Ow. Ow. Some of them really do get into ouch land, but our brains love shortcuts. It's actually a really good feature of our brain because we get millions of pieces of information a day. So our working memory creates shortcuts, so you don't have to relearn how to drive a car every time you get in it. Thank goodness. Or like, I know what's in the fridge. I remember what I put in there. I don't have to open it and look at everything, although I do that sometimes. But when I think about it, I know what's in there. I don't have to open it. I have that shortcut already in place. But we do that with a lot of things and may not even realize when those shortcuts are happening. In fact, folks call that unconscious bias. And everyone has it. It's neither good nor bad. It just is. It's something that our brain does. And when we're labeling, because that's what our shortcuts do, label it and move on. But the trick is when we label it, we lose out. And oftentimes the labeling gets really into polar opposites, the either or. So we're in that this or that kind of thinking. And that is a really narrow lens through which to see and experience the world. In fact, it really reminds me of two false arguments in particular. So I'm going to put on my English teacher hat for a moment. I used to teach rhetoric to teenagers, which is really interesting. So rhetoric isn't what you say, it's how you say it. And two false arguments were like, yeah, that doesn't work. Woo! Two false arguments come to mind when I think of polarities. And the first one is called a false dilemma. So if you think of what a dilemma is, you're making a really hard choice. And the prefix die means two. You got a choice of two things. It's this or it's that. And it's a hard choice to make. Just think in your experience, whenever you've had a choice to make, has there really ever only been two choices? I mean, really? If you really think about it, and I don't want to say all the time, but more often than not, there's more than two choices. In fact, being the infinite creatures that we are, I would dare to suggest there are infinite choices that could be made in that moment. So when I get locked down on, oh, it's either this or it's that, I've already trapped myself in a false dilemma. Another false argument that comes up for me is what's called sweeping generalization, where I'm going to stuff everything into this one category, slap the label on it, and good to go. So oftentimes we'll hear phrases like, all Democrats, or poor people, insert phrase here, or you might hear phrases like, well, you never, blah, 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 or I always, Yeah, and again, I don't want to make a sweeping generalization about sweeping generalizations. I'm not saying that always happens, but more often than not, when you hear terms like never, always, or all, or there's just this group, and then a statement, it tends to be a sweeping generalization. And really, that's where we miss out on all that I could be seeing, but I'm not, because I just went either or, done. So if there's any chance that I can recognize when I'm labeling and losing out, then I can recognize the either or thinking, the sweeping generalizations. That's when I can open up my aperture and see a little bit more. There's nuance. There's a whole spectrum that could be experienced. There's a whole range. In fact, for people that said cats or dogs, both, or introvert or extrovert, well, I learned a new word. I'm an ambivert. Who knew? I am both, just like you could be ambidextrous, like I am an ambivert. Sometimes I need really like big quiet time like I did this weekend. And other times I'm like, people, you know, that side of me very well. And when I'm feeling introverted, you don't see me, which is fine. That works for me. So yeah, there's the whole spectrum and range of everything as opposed to either or these categories or these labels. And what's really interesting is that when we open up to that, then we begin to engage in the infinite just in our thoughts. That's a great moment of expansion. So how about our actions? How could we get past polarity in our actions? If there was some way to unplug from polarity. Well, there is the spiritual practice of attempting to see and experience the other side. Whatever the other side might be in whatever category that is. Could I see both sides of something? And could I even experience the other side on purpose, consciously, step into it? I would suggest to start small. For example, in the cat and dog arena, I'm a hardcore cat person because I've had some really scary experiences when I was growing up with dogs. However, because I've had vast experience with many friends who have dogs, and I love those friends, and I want to visit those friends, and I go to their house and the dog is there. I have to get over myself and be with these dogs. And I have to say, I have found out that there are dogs that I absolutely love. Edwin and Elena's dog is the cutest thing I've ever seen. Bodhi is so sweet and gentle and snuggly, and I love him. And Judy's dog, Jasper, oh my gosh, cute, sweet, fine. So what I realized, it's not that I have a problem with dogs, is that I have a problem with certain characteristics that some dogs display. I don't like it when they're, barking loud, jumping on me, doing other things I shall not mention. Sometimes I have issues, but it's with those characteristics. It's not with dogs. So I had to take action and get into the experience of what is the opposite? What is this like? And then it opened me up to a greater experience. I do understand that is much more challenging when there's more to lose. Cats or dogs is one level, but if we're going to get to something that maybe is more passionate in our lives, that can be really hard. If we've invested time, money, energy into something, it's really hard to either shift a perspective or even just to open it up. So again, the spiritual practice. Could I sit with the other perspective? Could I pray into that? Could I try to understand more? Could I find the common ground that might be present? Could I really know my faith, that I believe the pilot light of the divine is always lit, regardless of whether it is obscured or not in that moment? So I love a quote from Brene Brown in Atlas of the Heart. She says, in these challenging moments of dissonance, we need to stay curious and resist choosing comfort over courage. It's brave to invite new information to the table, to sit with it and hear it out. It's so rare these days. And I know my own experience of New Thought communities, maybe this is similar to yours, but just like anyone in any kind of group, it's super easy to get insular, where I am surrounded only by like-minded, like-hearted people. And then I get really ensconced in my way of thinking and my way of being, and anyone who doesn't do that is wrong or less than or not enlightened, or, oh, this poor person who hasn't, oh, judgy, 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 judgy. That would be me. And then I realize I'm not living in oneness. I'm living in one-sidedness. Ouch. So can we practice expanding our capacity to see more than one side? Because if we can see even just two sides, then the veil drops and we can see way beyond that into the multitude of the infinite. That's all it takes. Could we open up even a little bit and then, oh, look at all that, the tunnel vision goes away, and now we can see all the stars in the sky. But I get it. That takes a lot of courage to open up our view beyond ourselves, and then to another way, and then to the infinite oneness. And without the labels, the either or thinking, the limitations, the judgment, if we can put all that aside, then we're free to experience the nuance, the whole range, the expression of our humanity and our divinity that's at the center of it all, until there is no other. And then we really are in the one. In fact, that fabulous paradox of the multitude expressing in the one. We get to open up into the full experience of this thing called life. So I really hope you'll take some time to recognize if you're in oneness or one-sidedness. That takes a lot of courage, that takes a lot of honesty, that takes a lot of bravery. And then to recognize it and then to play with it. To play with the polarities that come up in our lives and to hear the false arguments we might be saying. And oh, there it is. Isn't that funny? Okay, I'm going to put that aside. And to really look in the areas of our life where we may be holding on tightly to one polarity and villainizing the other. Where is that happening? And really, could we hold our beliefs, our ideas, our preferences, even our identity just a little more gently? Because then we can hear ourselves and see the other and know the infinite expressions of the one loving source right here and now. We could practice oneness in our daily lives and know that all of it is just the divine waiting to be recognized. And that's where we get into healing. Could we heal the divisions in our own lives? And then that starts the healing for the larger divisiveness and the deepening of humanity, because it makes space for a greater expression of the divine. Because we're all evolving together into that next stage of consciousness, shifting from either or to both and to one and all. And I think of that Rumi poem that says, beyond the ideas of right and wrong, there is a field, and I will meet you there. Yeah. So I hope you can find that field this week in all your experiences of the one loving source. Namaste. All right, let's take this to prayer. Turning inward, I do raise my awareness to that experience, that knowing, that feeling of the one loving source. Knowing that that is all there is right here and now, before us, after us, in all things, beyond even what we can understand, is this oneness. And so I am, you are, we are, this is an expression of that one loving source, that each one of us is aligned with the divine that is the presence and power within. And so I know that anything unlike oneness comes to light for me this week. Anything that feels like polarity, othering, judgment, whatever rises up to be known that is less than love, that is less than oneness, comes to my attention in a gentle, easy way. And I say, oh, there it is. And then I show up as love and more love. I open up my view. I open up my heart. I open up my mind to truly see the divinity in that moment, in that person, in that situation, in myself. I step into the daily practice of oneness, and I leave behind anything that smacks of one-sidedness. And I welcome the freedom and the expansion that comes from this experience, this greater experience of the one loving source. I know that is a huge blessing for me and for everyone who crosses my path when we each are allowed to be our full selves. Then we get to experience even more of the divine. And I know great bounty comes from that. And so I give thanks for this time to realign with the divine, to remember who and what we are in the oneness, to see each other in the oneness, and to consciously choose oneness over and over and over again until it's just our natural order of the day. I'm so grateful for the spiritual practice and the spiritual community and the beautiful people in the spiritual community that we can share this journey together. So knowing that each one of us is divinely guided and blessed in the week yet to come as we experience more and more oneness with all people. I let it go and let it be, knowing that the divine is always present. And so it is. All right, now it's time for some more music.
This is something I wrote years ago after I had a weird and difficult surgery. And it turned out I had pancreatitis. getting painkillers. And I just had this idea for this. It's a chant. I don't think we have a slide. So you have to learn 3 words. Love, peace, joy. I will be singing it too, so you'll get a chance to. And these are the 3 main attributes of God. So let's let that flow. The creativity part came in the chord structure because it's and the phrase ends with this chord, the 4. And the 4 never ends a phrase in music. But what this means is this is continuing on. Love, peace, joy. Love, peace, joy. Love, peace, joy. Love, peace, joy. And if you want to go higher, love, peace, joy. Love, peace, joy. Love, peace, joy. Beauty. Love, peace, joy. Love, peace, joy, abundance. Love, peace, joy. Love, peace, joy. Oneness. Love, peace, joy, light. Love, peace, joy, freedom. Love, peace, joy. Love, peace, joy. Harmony. Love, peace, joy. Love, peace, joy. End on love. Love, peace, joy. Love. Oh, microphone, thank you.
Now it's time for our offering, and as Sharon's bringing that up slowly, I think we've got a few more. The offerings that are given, not only are they physical offerings, but they're also representations of the energy that we are bringing forth and offering at our own altar to the divine. And so let's just bless these physical offerings, but know that it is much greater than just the money that's in here. This money is supporting the infrastructure of Wellspring Church, of bringing our speakers, and also we tithe to other organizations, charitable organizations in Las Cruces mostly. But we see this basket filled to overflowing because we know that the infinite, the almighty, the God is a God of abundance, that everything in this universe is here to support us, to support our evolution, to support our greater understanding of this magnificent creature, this being that we are. And as we join together in this oneness with each other here and on Zoom, we know that we are part of the oneness of that divine. We feel and know the flow of that through ourselves, through our hands, through our gifts. And we give great thanks for that. And so it is. Thank you, Sharon. And now there are a few other folks here today that have helped us. And that is our tech teams, and of course our musicians and our speakers and our platform assistant. So we just give thanks for them as well. And I just want to also invite those of you on Zoom to stay on after a little while, after the meeting. And those of you and us who are here, please join us in the social hall for our goodies. And since we don't have the peace song up on the screen, if you look on the back of this Sunday sheet, there is a copy of the peace song. And Edwin, you'll be leading us in that, I believe. Oh, we do have a benediction. Okay, well, what can I say? Spirit in the midst of us is mighty. Joy, peace, and eternal life are our true nature and flow through us into this world. And so it is. And now please stand if you are able and join hands, and we will sing our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our center, united all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Peace has begun with me, and this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment peace eternally. Now there is peace on earth, and it